Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Gail. So in today's video, I'm taking you behind the scenes of how I paint a textured art piece. This day started out overcast, but it cleared up nicely. This is the behind the scenes of my setup because the day started out overcast. I had my softbox light set up as well just in case, but I really didn't need it at all. The sun came out really nicely. It was bright in the room. This is the tools I'm going to use. If you really love creating, you don't need any fancy tools. You really just don't. Your hands or whatever you got lying around is the best tools that you can have. Of course, if you are creating to sell your work, maybe you have to look at, a higher quality of paint. And if you are doing this as a hobby or you're doing it quite often, I would say invest in some good paint brushes because it can last you for quite a long time. These I just bought and they are mid-range, so it's not the best quality. But if you buy a better quality brush and you take care of your brushes, it can last you a really long time. Also, the cheaper brushes, they lose their bristles and you don't want those hairs stuck in your work, and spoiling everything for you, especially if you are selling your products. Here I'm just adjusting the camera to get everything ready for recording. I will be showing you how I created this piece from start to finish. What I mean from start to finish, how I prepped the canvas, how I applied the texture up to the paint. So I will be showing you everything. I'm just moving the camera here to get a different angle. There is a lot of moving the camera to get the shot or to get a better view or different perspective. And so setting up the camera, it takes some time. This is all about the behind the scenes, right?
can't even try. No, we can't even try. Fire and ice. Lose my breath when I think of that night. Take me back, oh I told you goodbye. This happens every time when we collide. Like fire and ice. Like fire and ice. Say you wanna go slow, but I gotta say no. Don't wanna go back and forth. And you no more. Can't even try. Fire and ice. Lose my breath when I think of that night. Take me back, oh I told you goodbye. This happens every time when we collide. Like fire and ice. Like fire and ice.
You can see there's a huge difference from the previous clip on the canvas to now. Basically, I didn't like what I've done. I just didn't like it at all. And so I wiped off all the work that I did on the bottom half. And then I used some brown to do a drip. Once I put the camera down, I fiddled with it a bit more. And I decided to use some neutrals and just laid up some more paint just to give it a more of an interesting look. I decided to put the brushes down, and because of all the water that I've used, I decided to put the piece in the sun. It was a warm day out, but it wasn't a very hot day. Even though I made the changes, I still didn't like the piece. So I was just contemplating over here, should I change everything up? Should I just scrap the whole thing? Can I do anything to make it more appealing to myself? Because initially I wanted something more neutral, and shit happened. And I wanted to take a break, so I had some coffee and I contemplated stuff. I wasn't really getting anywhere with myself, so I decided to clean my desk area. I first used a cleaning product, and then I went in twice afterwards with just a clean cloth. I didn't leave my piece out too long, maybe about 2 hours, but by the time I brought it back in, I took another look at it. Absolutely loved it. I don't know what happened, but I just loved it. Everything just worked for me. There is some finer details that I have to do still, and I feel there's a bit of a disconnect from the brown to the other parts, so I'm gonna figure out something there. This piece actually reminded me of blossoms, like fruit tree blossoms. I grew up in a little town where we had a lot of fruit trees, and springtime, it seems like just everywhere you looked there was blossoms on the trees, and it was so beautiful, white ones, pink ones. And of course I also loved the blossom tree, and this reminded me of that for some reason. And I thought I'll introduce some blossoms, but I didn't want it to be obvious that it's a blossom. So I thought I'll put in little things that can make it look that way, and everybody can interpret it in their own way. So it's not like this is a blossom piece, you know. Believe it or not, my kids actually asked for more pizza, and I complied. This time it was a huge success just with the texture of the dough. What I discovered was my yeast was expired. So even though last time I didn't realize it was expired, I still put it in lukewarm water with sugar, but it still didn't come out right. This time I left it in the water, in warm water and sugar, for about 10 or 15 minutes, and I covered it so it bubbled up really nicely. And I think that made a huge difference to the texture of the dough, and it more than doubled in size. I left the dough overnight, and the next day I rolled it into its shape and push it and whatever. I'm not an expert, so please don't come for me. I made a tomato base with some garlic, and I put that paste on the pizza dough, popped it into the oven for about 10 minutes or so, and then I let it cool down completely in the oven. Next, I wrapped them up like sort of individually and stacked them on each other. And by the evening, I took them out. We did the toppings and pop it back into the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. The light wasn't so good in the kitchen by this time, but it definitely looked better in person, and it tasted even better. Oh goodness. It's now 2 days after I first started painting. So in my next video, I'm going to do a follow-up video of how I created this piece from start to finish. Obviously, I'm not completely finished with it yet. Try and put all the finishing touches on, hopefully. And yeah, but that's the video coming up next. So I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!